You're listening to the Paul Young Podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Paul Young Podcast. And today it's kind of a potpourri. It's kind of a mix of things. I'm going to start with a Henri Nouwen quote on hospitality. Then we're going to go to a reflection, a tribute to Pope Francis by a Hindu. I told you it was going to be a potpourri. And then a poem written by a good friend and therapist, Tara Boothby. And then a piece called Mind Your Own Business that Bradley has written, Jersak. So let's get on the way and listen in. First from Henri Nouwen, a quote on hospitality. Hospitality means primarily the creation of a free space where the stranger can enter and become a friend instead of an enemy. Hospitality is not to change people, but to offer them space where change can take place. It is not to bring men and women over to our side, but to offer freedom, not disturbed by divided lines. The paradox of hospitality is that it wants to create emptiness, not a fearful emptiness, but a friendly emptiness, where strangers can enter and discover themselves as created free to sing their own songs, speak their own languages, dance their own dances, free also to leave and follow their own vocations. Hospitality is not a subtle invitation to adore the lifestyle of the host, but the gift of a chance for a guest to find their own. That's from Henri Nouwen's book, Reaching Out. Was given to me by a great friend in Canada, David Peck. Okay, here's the tribute to St. Francis from a Hindu. It's called The Loss of a Good Man, a tribute to Pope Francis and the power of universal faith. I only met Pope Francis once. It was brief, just a few moments in a crowded room filled with dignitaries and seekers, some there out of duty, others out of belief. I was neither Catholic, nor was I there on any divine pilgrimage. I was just a man in need of a little hope, and somehow in that fleeting encounter, I received it. It's hard to explain without sounding overly romantic, but when you're in the presence of someone truly good, not performatively good, not publicly moral or selectively kind, but genuinely, deeply, relentlessly good, something shifts in you. You feel lighter. You feel braver. You feel like humanity, for all its wounds and wickedness, is still worth fighting for. That was the gift Pope Francis gave me. And I imagine, from the tears I've seen today and the aching silences of millions across faiths, races, and borders, that he gave that same gift to many. Today we mourn not just the passing of a pope, we mourn the loss of one of the strongest chess pieces humanity had on this plane of existence. He was a man who made kindness radical again, who reminded the powerful that humility was not weakness, who spoke of love not as doctrine, but as duty. He was not just a religious man. He was something far more rare. He was universally spiritual. I'm a Hindu. My God wears different names. My prayers come in different rhythms. But I would have followed this man through fire, because in his belief in God, he carried a belief in all of us. His eyes didn't see denominations. They saw dignity. His voice, always soft but never weak, carried the weight of truth even when it unsettled the comfortable, especially when it unsettled the comfortable. This world has a way of chipping away at your soul. The noise, the greed, the hate, the empty rituals that masquerade as faith or patriotism or family values. It's easy to go numb. It's easy to give in to cynicism. But once in a while, someone comes along who reminds you that the better angels of our nature are still within reach, that goodness is still possible, that we don't need to be perfect to do good. We just need to be brave. Pope Francis was that man. He chose love over doctrine. He chose compassion over judgment. And most remarkably, he chose action over applause. He walked with the poor. He knelt before the discarded. He challenged the powerful, not with anger, but with moral courage. And he did all of this with a smile that felt like a prayer. He understood something many religious leaders forget, that God doesn't reside only in temples or churches or mosques, that holiness isn't a place, it's a way of living, a way of seeing others, a way of choosing kindness over and over, even when it hurts. And yes, today we mourn. I mourn, not just for the Catholic world, but for all of us. Because when a man like this leaves, it feels like a light has been dimmed. But maybe, just maybe, the way we honor him is to become the light ourselves. Let us remember his faith in humanity and let it fuel our own. Let us keep making the right chess moves in this complicated, brutal, beautiful game of life. Let us speak truth with grace. Let us protect the vulnerable, question the powerful, and lift each other up, not because of who we are, but because we are here together. Pope Francis believed in a world where dignity wasn't conditional, where faith was lived, not just preached. That world can still exist if we build it. And maybe that's the final gift he's given us, a call not to despair, but to duty. Because as long as we carry his belief in each other, then truly he has not left us at all. Vinod Sakar. I find that beautiful and human, deeply calling and a touch to me to remain on this road that Jesus opened up by living it. And you see a lot of those words that applied in this man's mind to Pope Francis. I want to have those words apply to me. Tara Boothby has written a poem. I love it. It's called At a Soft Pine Table. And it's from Isaiah 6, if you're wondering. That's the root of the poem. It's not taken from Isaiah 6, but if you read Isaiah 6, you'll find it. I sit. Mother is busy at the stove, at the kitchen sink, wiping bowls, cleaning vegetables, stirring, creating, smiling. Her presence moves around this space and touches me, as it touches everyone else. Her shadow lingers, a bit longer than it should, as a mother's shadow should. She cooks, she laughs, she tells a quip. She smacks the hand of those who cannot wait to taste the food she will offer. She hugs, she smiles, she hums her motherly song. She cooks with love. She dances with love. She adopts us all, and I sit, our father in his chair, his pipe in hand, then at his mouth, then in his hand again. He scoffs, he huffs, he smiles, he laughs, he reads the paper, the news of the day. He shakes his head and sets the paper down. He returns to the more serious work of looking and seeing and smiling and smelling and tasting his pipe. There is a bustle and a stillness as we wait for food. There is a song playing full of rhythm and words and no words. A song that stirs and resounds the spirit of our home. I sit and look. I sit and think. I sit and look and think and listen. I smell. I smile. I shed a tear. And I sit at a soft pine table. I am home. I am within this. I am. My brother, her son, my father's child, he bursts right in, full of chitter and chatter and stories of his day. He is familiar and friendly to me and Mom and Dad too. The most friendliest friend to all. He is my wrestlemate and my ally, and at times he is my rival, my nemesis, so I think. But no, he is always my friend, and always, always, my always, I belong with him. I belong with Father. I belong in the spirited song of this evening's fest, and I belong at this table. Now we are all sitting together. My table is cluttered with elbows and hands. This is the conversation that I belong to. It is happening at a soft pine table, a table scratched by the time of my life. And Mother is here, and the Holy Three are too. I bear witness. I see them here, and they see me. I sit at the table. My fingers touch the marks and scratches on the softwood. My ever-presence is the ever-present. And I wait, with Father, with Brother, with Spirit. We wait for Mother's smile and her stew. And now Father looks at me and says, "Will someone ring the dinner bell?" By Tara Boothby, author, counselor, friend. And the last piece today is a short piece by Bradley Jersak. But, I love Bradley Jersak, and his stuff has been incredibly helpful to me, and he finds ways to speak words that are accessible to so many. That kind of translator of ideas in words that become flesh is a gift. So here's his piece. It's called Mind Your Own Business. Do you ever inadvertently blurt out a line that sounds so clever you smirk to yourself in self-satisfaction? No? It's probably best to admit it before the pride creeps in and inspires you to blog about it. Alas for me, it's too late. Somewhere recently, the words, "good ideas for other people," crossed my lips ironically, and I found myself chuckling and thinking, that's a good title for an aging rockers album. Good ideas for other people. Or maybe an article. Why the latter? Because all too often the shadow side of religion is that it's so liberal in spouting, shouting, and imposing its good ideas at or on other people. And when I'm more mindful, I can catch myself when I'm doing it. That's when I remember Paul the Apostle's exhortation, 1 Thessalonians 4:11. Make it your ambition to lead a quiet life. You should mind your own business and work with your hands, just as we told you. Surprise. Let me read that again. Make it your ambition to lead a quiet life. You should mind your own business and work with your hands, just as we told you. Wait, what? That's in the Bible? It's one of those verses so simple and so radical that you'll rarely hear it preached. How would you preach, mind your own business? It would be ironic, right? Of course, Paul's remarkable challenge would be more obvious to us, if we took seriously Jesus' words, command actually, judge not. That's in Matthew 7:1. No sooner do we embark on the path of judgment, stirred up by self-righteousness, than we're overcome by the impulse to bring a word of correction with my good ideas for other people. And we're back to Jesus' command, Matthew 7:3. First, remove the log from your eye. Only then will you see clearly the speck in your brother's eye. In reflecting on that verse, 3 points jump out at me afresh, meaning I need to hear them again. 1. Jesus assumes the relative size of my obstruction. It's much bigger than my brother's or sister's. Why? Because whatever their offense is versus mine, I've added now my judgment to the mix, which is a perilous kind of usurping of the judgment seat reserved for Jesus. Number 2. My judgments truly do impair and distort my vision. When assuming the illegitimate role of judge, Jesus wants me to know I simply cannot see clearly, which is to say, through the clear and clarifying lens of love. Number 3. Finally, the language of brother means I need to remember who I'm presuming to judge. This is a spiritual sibling, not a stranger or an enemy, and to treat all people, not only Christians. Ephesians 3:14-15. To treat all people, not only Christians, as fellow children of God. We're members of the human family of which I am not the father. The last double irony is that I've just spent almost 500 words sharing my good ideas for people, other people, like with you. But I hope at least that they're my ideas, not divine revelations, and that you can shake off the chaff and extract only the good that you find authentically helpful. And I'm going to read you the short quote from Henri Nouwen again, and we'll finish with that for today. Hospitality means primarily the creation of a free space where the stranger can enter and become a friend instead of an enemy. Hospitality is not to change people, but to offer them space where change can take place. It is not to bring men and women over to our side, but to offer freedom not disturbed by dividing lines. The paradox of hospitality is that it wants to create emptiness. Not a fearful emptiness, but a friendly emptiness where strangers can enter and discover themselves as created free. Free to sing their own songs, speak their own languages, dance their own dances. Free also to live and follow their own vocations. Hospitality is not a subtle invitation to adore the lifestyle of the host, but the gift of a chance for the guest to find their own. Blessings on your day. And Paul, mind your own business.